Hey everybody, how's it going? So it is 2020, conservatives are abandoning Fox en masse for being too liberal, and I'm doing my second video in a week about why I'm defending Apple. 2020 is truly a meme year, I'll tell you that much. But so today I'd like to go over this case. Apple could be forced to include a charger with every iPhone sold in Brazil. Now, for those of you who are not aware because you don't use Apple products, they have decided with some of the newer phones to stop including the charger. If you're like me, you probably have a box filled with all of these chargers because you don't throw away the charger from the old device. So every time you buy a new device, you get another charger, which turns your 120 or 230 volts of AC into 5 or 9 volts of DC with a little USB plug on it. And like at some point, if you've been even lukewarm upgrader or person, who just buys new technology, by this point, by 2020, even if you barely ever buy new stuff, you probably have at least 5 or 10 of these chargers in your house. And Apple's saying it doesn't make sense for us to continue selling these. You probably already have them. It would be good for the environment if we don't create another one. Now, two things can be true at once. It's very important to understand two things can be true at once. Apple is a company that, in my opinion, does not care about the environment at all because they design products in a specific and deliberate fashion that keeps you from being able to fix them. They tell the companies that make the chips that go into their products, don't sell these chips to Mouser or DigiKey or people like Lewis so that when they break, you're forced to buy a new one or fix it through Apple where they replace an entire board rather than replacing a $5 chip. Apple's actions have resulted in countless items being thrown away or destroyed that could otherwise be reused. So I don't buy that Apple cares about the environment. However, even if I don't buy that they care about the environment, as a result of the actions that they take on a regular basis, it can also be true that they just so happened to do something that is good for the environment. If you are not creating chargers that are going to wind up in people's garbage cans, because 99% of the general population, if they have junk, they just toss it in the trash rather than going to an e-waste collector, that is technically good for the environment. A company that displays on a regular basis that they don't care for the environment can indeed do something that is good for the environment. And if they wish to sell the product without a charger, that's something that I'm okay with because at this point in time, virtually every human being on planet Earth has a little box of USB chargers because it's 2020 and chances are you've bought more than one device at this point, whether it's Bluetooth headphones or some computer peripheral that comes with a charger or a cell phone or an MP3 player or a Bluetooth headset, anything like that. You have this somewhere. I mean, my camera at some came with a USB charger. Like all of my stuff has come with it. I have more than enough, more than I will ever need throughout the course of my life. Now, in this article, what they're saying is that they contacted Apple and asked the company to explain why it was no longer providing charging accessories with its newer iPhones. This is also a company, or at least an area, I shouldn't say company, a part of the government that hasn't done its research because iPods have been being sold without chargers before iPhones for years. And nobody cared. Now, if you go back here, it says they responded by touting the environmental benefits of no longer including a power adapter with the phones, noting that many users already have spare chargers. Plus, the move reduces carbon emissions and avoids mining and the use of rare earth metals. However, in a press release on Wednesday, the Procon SP said that the power adapter was an essential part for the use of the product, and selling the iPhone without it is against the Brazilian Consumer Defense Code. Moreover, the agency said that Apple has not sufficiently demonstrated evidence of the environmental benefits of removing the charger from the box and failed to make it clear in marketing materials that one is no longer included. So the first thing that they're saying there is that they don't have a functioning brain, because they require evidence of the environmental benefit of not producing something. So if you are going to produce a piece of electronics, that is going to require mining more resources from the earth. It's going to require the creation of plastics, which are difficult to properly get rid of. So the mere fact that you needed to be explained to you, government official, why more production is bad for the environment as opposed to less production of a piece of good that is not biodegradable, you're admitting that you don't have a brain, and that's not something that I would particularly want to admit in public. I don't know the way people feel about their government in Brazil versus the way that we feel about our government here in New York or other parts of the United States. In the U.S., a lot of people look at their government officials and think that, frankly, they're just a bunch of fucking idiots. Maybe that's a truism all over the world. I don't know. Why do you need it explained to you the environmental benefit of not producing a charger that's made of plastic, that's made of crap that needs to be mined from the earth? Now, granted, you're already taking a toll on the earth by making the phone, and I understand that, but at the same time, there's an additional toll made to make all these chargers that wind up being disposed of because by 2020, most people have these chargers. Again, I know the reason that Apple's actually fucking doing this. They're doing it to save money. They're doing it to make more money. Trust me, I know that that's part of the reason. But two things can be true at once. Secondly, if it is essential for the use of the product, show me where you have banned RC toy cars that don't include a battery. Because when I was a kid, not only did you have to buy the remote control car, which was expensive, but the rechargeable battery was often not included, and it was proprietary, and they were sold in stores everywhere. A lot of the wireless products that I purchase, sometimes they come with batteries, oftentimes they don't, whether it's mice or keyboards. Many companies that sell Bluetooth headphones will include a charging cable in the box, but not a charger. Even when the Bluetooth cable itself, when this thing came out, Shure actually wanted people to pay $150 for this piece of shit Bluetooth cable. And there are so many products that get sold, not even without a charger. They get sold without the battery, and no one cares. But now you choose to single out Apple. So clearly this is a case of singling out a company. Now, I'm not opposed to you singling out a company for bad practices if you're actually going to single them out for something that matters. You have a company that has not acknowledged that they have designed a product where if you literally open and close it, and I've been over this in so many videos, where you open and close the product, it stops working. They actually acknowledged that this was a problem recently, and this link bit.ly/you lied to me that I made to help my customers when they want a URL over the phone that's easy to find. They acknowledge this being a problem, and it is a problem that they cover for the 2016 13-inch. But they don't cover it for the 2016 15-inch, exact same design flaw. They don't cover it for the 13 or 15-inch 2017, exact same design flaw. And they know that it's a problem because in 2018 they extended the length of the cable. They admitted it was a problem. They put it was a problem on their own website. And they're telling many, many hundreds of thousands of users, if you have this problem, go fuck yourself. You're paying us over $500 to $650 to fix our own defect. You're not going to go after them for that, which actually affects people. You're not going to go after them on any right to repair issues, where if you have a $4,000 Apple laptop and a $5 charging chip goes, they tell Texas Instruments and Intersil, don't sell these chips to normal repair shops because then they may actually be able to fix it. You can't let them have access to that. That is not a monopoly issue to you. That's not an environmental issue that you care about. When they create a product with like stuff like Error 53, it took the Australian government doing something or finding them to get anywhere with that. You don't care about that. I have numerous videos in this channel where I have gone over engineering failures of Apple products dating back to before I was legally allowed to drink. And none of these appear to be a problem to the Brazilian government. This is a video I did here a while ago. I have many videos going over the design flaws for which Apple does not take accountability or responsibility and gives their users a middle finger. However, when the user willingly purchases a product that is advertised as not coming with a charger, in an environment, in a time where it is commonplace that the average home user has a box of chargers, this is the fucking issue the Brazilian government chooses to go after Apple for. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't know if I'm getting means or if I'm getting screwed. Like, government is just so ineffective in so many ways when it comes to this. There can be piles, mountains of evidence about how the corporation fucks over the user. But then when they do something that most of the users are not even complaining about, that is not a scam. It's advertised that way. That this is the hill that they choose to fuck with Apple with. I don't understand it. This is similar to something that happened in France recently with headphones, where they are saying, well, you need to give people an option to use your product hands-free. So you need to include headphones in the box. So like a user like me that purchases their own headphones because the headphones that come in the box always suck balls, who always takes those headphones that comes in the box, literally throws them away because they are useless, wasting resources, adding to the e-waste problem, adding to the unsustainability problem. Oh no, we don't care about the environment anymore. We care about the environment when it means that we maybe get to fine or screw over the companies. We care about it when we get to virtue signal, but when it comes to reality, who cares? Keep selling products with headphones that people throw away. I saw this. Apple is including earpods in the box of every iPhone in France due to legal obligations. The operator must provide an accessory such as a hands-free kit or headset suitable for children under 14 years of age, completely ignoring the fact that there are large factions of the population that purchase the phone and throw away the charger and the headphones. Since I was a little kid, the headphones that come stock with the device have sucked. It's 2020. That has not changed. They are often horrible, awful sounding, terrible headphones. And it's not just people on HeadFi that think this. The headphones that come with the product are awful. So I don't use them. But now you're going to force the company to include them anyway, so that now I have something that I need to throw away, which is wasteful. Like there's such a library of fuckery, of things that you could legitimately go after Apple for. But rather than going after Apple for the areas where they have genuinely fucked over the consumer, where there was no consent from the beginning that they were purchasing a laptop that you're not able to open and close. There's no consent they didn't understand that when they were purchasing this, that Apple went out of their way to ensure that independent repair shops would not be able to fix it. They're selling a phone now with the iPhone 12, where if you want to take the camera from another iPhone 12 and put it in your iPhone 12, it will no longer work. It needs to be fixed at an Apple authorized service provider. They're creating devices that only they can fix. Even if you use a part that is made by Apple, that came from another iPhone, it will not work in that iPhone unless it has the blessing of Tim Cook. That's not what you go after Apple for. You go after them because they didn't include a set of $2 headphones or a 50-cent charger in the box. If this isn't what you needed to see to just understand how out of touch governments all around the world, not just in the United States, in Europe, in South America, everywhere, how far out of touch with people they are, then I don't know what else you need to see. And again, I don't like Apple as a company, but I can't help but just have that principled stance and defend them if I believe that this is unjust. I'm more than happy to laugh at Apple for the fact that they can get away with not selling a charger in the box and charge the same amount for the phone, if not more. I'm more than happy to laugh at them. They claim that they're doing it for the environment when they're actually doing it to save money. And I will continue to laugh at the fact that they claim to care about the environment when they clearly do not. However, in this case, technically, what they are doing, A, technically, is good for the environment, and B, frankly, is their right as a phone manufacturer. And if we want right to repair to not get lumped in with those authoritarians that say, or the authoritarian critique, which is the right to repair people want to return us to 1980 when phones were this big because they can't fix anything unless unless everything is made old again, then we need to push back against asinine criticism of Apple, because in my opinion, this is genuine asinine criticism. And of all the things in the priority list that you could go after, going after this, I don't want right to repair associated with any of this. I really don't. I'm not saying that I want control over what you sell to the customer when it comes to what stuff you're going to include with it. All I'm saying is if you're going to use this charging chip, can you allow Texas Instruments or Intersil to sell us that charging chip the way that it used to be for electronics even just like 10 years ago? Can we just like rewind the clock a little bit to the point where technicians were able to get schematics to be able to work on the products? And that, again, if you want to make the product with BGA chips instead of QFN and that makes my life harder, that's on me. I need to deal with that. If you make the device in a manner where stuff's a little bit glued together to make it thinner and it makes it more difficult to work on, don't get it twisted. I'll curse while I'm scraping away the adhesive, but that's part of the game. That's fair game, and that's not something I'm going to complain about. If you don't include a charger, again, I may laugh, but that's not something that I'm trying to. All I'm trying to do here is get the manufacturer to stop going out of their way to do things that are deliberate, that add no value to the end consumer, that make the product more difficult to repair without adding functionality. Like just, I don't know, making an system management controller chip that literally commits suicide and erases itself if I try to read the firmware so that I could fix a laptop that stopped charging the battery because the SMC died. I'm not trying to like go full authoritarian and say, you must include this accessory. You must include this or else. You must include a charger with the iPhone, but you don't have to for the iPod. You must include the, this with the batteries or whatever with this product, but if you're selling a remote control car, you don't have to include batteries for the remote. This stuff is ridiculous. And if we don't speak up when the criticisms become ridiculous, then we lose any and all credibility to criticize Apple when they do something that is actually wrong. And as much as it, I don't know. Maybe it's just the fact that it's 2020. Maybe it's the fact that this is truly a meme year, that I'm at a point where I would stand in solidarity with Tim Cook and defend his right to sell a product and not include a charger in the box, given that 99% of the people buying that fucking product don't need a charger. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.